Holy cow. The mainstream media is finally catching on to what's been going on at Twitter, well, that many of us have already been talking about. Why are they always so far behind? I really don't know. Musk has been playing them like a fiddle for a long time. He's been playing the disloyal employees that were at Twitter like a fiddle for a very long time. And not only that, it looks like the financials for Twitter are better than ever. Oh boy. Nothing like starting a Twitter story off with some mega drama, right? Here we go. Okay, mea culpa. I really dig the space daddy, Elon Musk. I think he's amazing. He's really a next level thinker. He's a planner. He looks so far off into the distance that, well, in a previous age, he would have been called a visionary. And he always seems to be so far out in front of his detractors, right? That they just, I don't even know. They don't seem to ever catch up. Let's just put it that way. So, in my opinion, there's a lot to admire there. Now, if you don't hold him in such high regard, if you don't have an elevated opinion of him, I get it. A lot of people don't. A lot of people, just talk about his cars and some of the things that he put together didn't work and all of that. And I get it. But what's funny to me, and this doesn't matter if it's Elon or not. Actually, I guess it matters in this case. But what's funny to me is that the press always is underestimating him. And to that point, there was a recent article from TechCrunch, which was citing a post from a senior engineer at Twitter, a guy named Peter Clowes, Clowes. And he stated that he elected to leave recently in the last few days rather than hobble Twitter, as he had no incentive to stay. Of course, this is in regard to the previous week's ultimatum that Elon put in place. And it seems that when people are being asked to work hard at this job, it's not something a lot of them wanted to do. So, fair enough. As such, the choice that many of the remaining employees made last week was exactly what Elon desired, for a lot of different reasons. Now, what's funny is, those are the words from the article, is that the remaining employees last week was exactly what Elon desired. Really? No kidding, TechCrunch? Are you sure? Of course. He had already indicated what he wanted to do all along, which was cut out the dead weight. This was an easy and an effective way to do it, giving them an option. And estimates from Fortune magazine apparently are estimating that the loss of staff was somewhere around 1,200 more employees. What a great way to remove 75% in total. And according to this Clowes fellow on his, I'm departing message that everybody seems to give these days, not that anybody cares, but he basically said that Musk has yet to share his overall plan for the company with staff. And this is surprising to them. And and of course, it's surprising to TechCrunch as well. But it's not surprising to me. I mean, why would you bother to give details to a huge group of backstabbing, disloyal, layabout miscreants? I certainly wouldn't. If I wanted them out the door anyway, and, I wouldn't want to give them the keys to the kingdom when it comes to my plans. That makes no sense. What's even more laughable here, in my opinion, again, is that the TechCrunch story is in and of itself a citation of this Clowes fellow who's talking about a Wired article that's talking about a WAPO article. This is the kind of typical circular journalism and reporting that we're getting these days from people, again, claiming to be journalists and supposedly working for these authoritative mainstream news outlets these days. And again, this story was also crafted at the time when they were trying to support this idea of this RIP Twitter movement that fell flat, where a bunch of fake urinalists and activists were out there trying to spur along, this supposed collapse that was happening. And the timing wasn't lost on me that CBS News went along with it by pausing or temporarily pausing their posts on Twitter. Out of abundance of caution. Now, we did that story already. Anyway, with so many claims that nobody wants to work for Twitter, it would be surprising that one of Elon's frenemies, right, George Hotz, is actually coming on board for a 12-week contract internship, right? Just basically requesting the cost of living in San Fran because he's got a little time on his hands. Now, he's been tasked in that 12 weeks to fix the search function on Twitter. Not an enviable job, but I imagine he's probably capable. He's more than up to the task, and boy is that going to embarrass the thousands of employees who never got that job done. And not only that, Holtz himself has actually reached out to other people in the tech industry to work on Twitter's behalf, kind of recruiting talent to bring in to solve some of these other issues that all of those other people could never get around to. Maybe Twitter's going to turn around after all, and in record time. Of course, all of this is just an appetizer to the thing that I really wanted to focus on in this video, what I think is the most important thing, which is the financials, because, well, they're good. I actually had the good fortune of stumbling onto probably one of the best threads you could have found on Twitter financials. Very important analysis, and it comes from a checkmark, Charles Haywood, who laid out probably the most concise and comprehensive breakdown that anybody could hope for. In fact, instead of doing it myself, I'm just going to read this verbatim because I think you'll understand why at the end. All right, here we go. 1. I will now examine Twitter's past financials and predict the future from them. I conclude that criticism of Elon Musk is bizarrely off base because Musk has overnight changed Twitter's net profit margin from a negative 20% to approximately plus 28%. That's more than Apple or Google. Number 2. I'm using annualized percentages based on Twitter's most recent quarterly filings for the period of 6/30/22. These documents are freely available at the SEC's website, which means you can replicate these results. Moving along here to 3, annual revenue was about $4.4 billion. Annual expenses were slightly more and fell into 4 major buckets: cost of revenue, R&D, sales and marketing, and general and administrative. Well, there you go. Those are roughly 37%, 26%, 25%, and 12% of total major expenses, respectively. All right, moving on to 4. According to the company, such cash expenses for cost of revenue are essentially infrastructure, hardware, and third-party servers, with some employee costs, namely operations teams. Employees' costs include those related to stock and options grants, non-cash expenses. 5. R&D expenses, on the other hand, consist primarily of personnel-related costs. The same is explicitly true of sales and marketing and of general and administrative. Yeah, a lot of people. In other words, number 6, the vast majority of 63% of Twitter's expenses are personnel costs. Wow. If we assume primarily is 80% and that 20% of the cost revenue is also personnel costs, 58% of Twitter's total costs are personnel costs. 58% of total costs are personnel? Nearly 60%? Oh boy. When Musk took over, and this is item 7, Twitter had 7,500 employees. Let's guess 70% of those have left. Actually, estimates put that a little higher, but it's okay. Leaving aside pay differentials, that suggests that Twitter's expenses have likely permanently dropped 41% overnight. Yeah, math checks out. That makes its new annualized projected profit $1.3 billion. Number 8. This means Twitter's net margin going forward is now about 28%. And by way of comparison, Apple and Google both maintain net margins in the 22 to 25% range. In other words, Twitter is now more profitable than those companies. Now, 9. Your mileage may vary, and this is somewhat of an oversimplification, but it shows why Musk can win by just firing worthless losers. Yeah, sure, maybe leftist pressure will keep some advertisers away. I doubt it. When the current thing arrives, they'll be back. Number 10. When you change from a negative profit margin to a margin that's the envy of the tech world, you have a lot of room to screw up. 11. I also note that it is ignorant to say that Musk has loaded up the company with debt. The debt equity ratio in the deal was roughly 0.03 to 1, when many deals are done at 1 to 3, or with 9 times as much debt. That's also true. And 12, and this is the final one. Sure, he has to make debt payments, but this isn't some kind of knife-edge scenario, as the ignorant often paint it. I have to agree 100%. Couldn't have said any of those things better myself, and with as much clarity. Unbelievable. I love that. In brief, that was spectacular. So what's my summation here, right? I've never been more optimistic about Twitter than I am right now, believe it or not. And if only some journalists can catch up in time, maybe they'll start reporting some of the good news that's happening around Twitter. Because I would say this is certainly good news. But hey, what do you think? Was Musk's plan to oust the discontent and boil the company down to the best producers, the best possible workers? Do these new financial perspectives draw clarity? I think so. And are you optimistic that positive change is afoot for Twitter overall? Yeah, pretty sure. But hey, please utilize the content section down below, and let's get a conversation going on this one, because I think we can have a wonderfully detailed conversation about the future at Twitter and just how profitable it can be. Maybe that wasn't a wasted $44 billion after all. Be sure to support all the independent creators on the various platforms that you enjoy. Subscribe. Be sure to hit the bell for notifications if you want to make sure you catch everything. And of course, like, comment, share. Those are really important, algorithmically anyway. And of course, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye. Five stories a day, good gravy. And don't forget to check out my Rumble at rumble.com/CultureCasino.
Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.